Today we are going to be doing a video on game plan. We're going to be explaining about player levels and whatever else you need to learn about game plan. I've been doing this too long right now. I can't be bothered to do the intro. So it's going to be informative. I'm going to give you all the information I want. But before we start, we're going to watch these four on the off chance that I get a reasonable player. So let's just see what happens. This might help with the game plan. So I'll let you know. Oh, big stretch. Fantastic. Fantastic. No idea who that is. Has actually really good player skills. For a defensive mid as well. Reasonable. He looks like he could be a good defensive mid. Very tall. Doesn't have any defensive mid actual stats. Might be just a good central midfielder then. Maybe an attacking midfielder. But he's massive. It's a unit. He could be okay. Probably will end up using him just out of curiosity. Let's see who we get. West Ham. Yep. Fantastic. It looks like he could be okay. He does look like he could be alright. He could be okay. Okay, cool. Why am I doing that? Available players. You forget that the likes of like Ramos even exists on this game. You just never see him. The fact he's a 4-star as well is mental. Like, how is he a 4-star? He used to be a legend. He is a legend. An actual living legend. He's slow as well. That's a shame. I'll press it again. Fuck you. This is my free-to-play account, by the way. Well, sorry. Both my accounts are free-to-play, but this is an account I've made brand new. Simply to do an intro video. And a few other videos like that. Just to help. Just to, you know, hopefully give advice. And if someone wants to see more of this account, maybe, you know, a run to Division 1 or something like that. Or a progression to prove that it is actually really easy to make a good team on this game for free, then obviously I can do. He's not bad. He's not bad. He can play on the wide. So he'd be good in the free in the back role as well. He'd actually be very good in the free in the back. Because you could just have him as a left midfielder and drop him back. Quite good. Final player. Oh, Mr. Ramos. Oh, that's nice. Wow. Oh, that's nice. Never used him in this game, so weirdly got some good players through this. So, game plan. As you see, straight off the bat, on his card it says 80. He's currently 74 rated. That, if you didn't watch my previous video, is his playstyle. I've gone into detail about playstyles on that video, so sadly you're going to have to go watch a 35-minute video. Or just cut through until you start seeing the game plan, and you'll see me explaining it. It's your choice. We have not really too much to go into, to be honest. Changing your manager, very simple. Changing your formation, fairly simple. I'd say, honestly, it doesn't really matter what formation you pick. I'd probably just say go for what defenders you want. If you want 3 at the back, 5 at the back, or 4 at the back. At the beginning of this game, I think I'm going to go 5 at the back. To be honest. Just because I know how sweaty people are. Now I've got 5 at the back, I can just reposition everyone like this. Very simple. He can also play second striker, which is actually great for me. Which means I can swap these 2 around. I will have him as an attacking midfielder here. Come on, there we go. And Bowen can go up front as a second striker. Lovely. Is he going to be great at finishing or anything? Probably not. But you know what? We were using. Formation, simple. Team play style, we've gone through. Individual instructions. This is where you can change the way your team plays on the attacking and on the defensive. These aren't necessarily important depending on what play style your team has, which is on the top left below the name is their playing style. So let's say for a defensive midfielder, if you look at, do we have any defensive midfielders? Does it matter? Does it matter? No. He can only play on the left. He can play everywhere. Okay. Cam. Wing. I actually think one of these... Is he a super sub? Who was the super sub now? Was it Raspadori? I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah. So, sack him off. It doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm trying to pick the best team for no reason. I've gone over this already. Too long. It's I'm dragging this out. I'm sorry. Sub tactics. As you can see in the game, if you switch it on, you can edit the position, and you can literally just push players wherever you want. So if you want a sub tactic where all you have is attackers, you are limited by how many players you can have in each position. Just as a quick FYI. And that's why when I'm pushing him forward, he's just going back to his previous position. But you can force as many players as you can. I think bare minimum, it looks like you need to have 2 defenders, which is quite hilarious. But you can, you can mess around, make your sub tactics what you want. Have attackers wherever you want, or players wherever you want, or run it however you want to run it, right? You can change it in-game at any point, and literally they will move to that position, which is fantastic because, as you see, this is a 5 at the back formation. I would preferably have a sub-tactic that is 5 at the back. And I will start off with 3 or 4 at the back to start off more aggressively. But if you create the formation as best as you can in the meta way, you can actually do really well with it. You can do really well with it where you've basically got a bunch of players who will just rinse the fuck. I've only just popped in there just for no reason. Don't worry about that. But yeah, simple. Team, auto picking players. This is good for events. When you go onto an event and you need a specific amount of players and you've got those players but you can't really be bothered to put them on, you go over to team, press auto pick, and it will say by event, or it will give you an additional option, and it will put everyone who is eligible for the event put on the team or on the sub bench. In match roles, very simple. Who do you want to do what? Fair enough. Do what you want. Automatic match support. Don't ever touch these. Just leave them off. They're all useless. Substitutions, they'll sub on anyone on the bench. They'll sub off anyone. They'll sub on anyone. It's ridiculous. Offside trap is mental. You will just get caught out with offside trap 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000. It won't ever work. Right? 99% chance it won't work. Leave it all. Don't touch it. Right? Only pull it on if you're going to create a game plan for AI, because on certain events, when you're against AI, you can allow the game to play through itself and the AI will verse the other team that is also AI. So your team will just play automatically. And you can turn it all on. So you can literally just leave the game. Let it just run for the full 90 minutes. Whilst you go and, I don't know, touch yourself. Or, I don't know, go feed your mom or something. Simple enough. Substitutions, very simple. Substitution. Reserves, very simple. You can now filter who you want, how you want them, where you want them. You can have a look. If the team requires a specific thing, or you want to look for someone and you've got hundreds of players and you can't be bothered, have a look, you'll find them. Now, I'm going to take him out because I want to see his full potential, and we're going to show you everything there is to do about players. I've left this one till last because this one is the most detailed. Sergio Ramos. As you see, he is an extra front man. That is his play style. Many players are different. If you go and read the tips, as I suggested in my last video, it will tell you exactly what an extra front man does. Some defenders will naturally push themselves further up the pitch because they're an extra front man. Some of them will be more reserved and sit backwards, dependent on sit backwards, sit deeper, depending on the play style. So make sure you read up on them. Height, weight, age, self-explanatory. Overall rating and position, again, self-explanatory. You'll see nationality, club, and league. You see a little circle with all that stuff. I mean, you can just read the stats. It's not very important. To the right of it is you will see colours. I need actually someone else. I need Neymar. Because you'll see now, his position on his card is second striker. Okay? You'll see a very dark green and a very light green. The light green is where he can play at his best. So, if we place him on the field now, in attacking midfield, you can see the dark green is that he can play there, but not as good. But the light green is he can play there as well as he can. That is literally the exact same as in the actual menu. That's me comparing him to himself. But you can see, it's easy. That's quite simple. If you play him in his different position, I'll show you the differences. So, second striker, 78. Play him as a centre forward, he's 66. He can play there, just nowhere near as good. And if you put him as centre back, he's 41. Because obviously, centre back is not even green. So he'd be awful there. So we will just pop him back up there. And we'll just pop you over there. And we'll pop you there. Honestly, at this point, I might as well just have. I might as well at least just set up the team. Like, at least just set them up slightly. I wouldn't play like this. Anyway, I'm going to take him back into reserves so we can see his full potential. Live update. Every week, players' live updates will change, and it will range from, I believe, D. I don't think I've seen anyone E, but it will range from D to A. C is standard. B and A are good. D is not good. This will affect their in-game abilities, their in-game overall ratings. It won't display at all anywhere how it will affect the players. But the higher the live update, the higher the overall will be. It's not going to be a massive amount. It's a few points. on specific stats or on every stat. I'm not too sure how it works, but it affects the players every week. So keep an eye on those players. If you're playing a player that is D tier, it isn't a good thing. If he's unreal and he's very, very, very clear, it probably still isn't worth it. Maybe look for a substitute for the week until his live update changes. Stronger foot, very simple. Levels. Now, this is different than other games. Player actions, level training. We can pop in a few of these. We gain these from just playing the game, right? I'll pop in 5 just to give some levels. Now he's level 8, and as you see, progression points, he now has 14. Most of the time when you level a player up, they will achieve 2 progression points per level. So I think Neymar should have, hopefully, 50 progression points at the end, or 48. We'll see. We can go back into player actions, go into player progression. This is where you can develop the players to your liking. You can create pretty much the players how you want them. And that's what's fantastic about this game. You know, you can literally create players however you want to play them. The reason why I'm doing it like this as well is you've got to take into consideration, once you have a manager who has 85 playstyle proficiency, every single card will get a +2 on their overall. Every single stat is a +2. So his ball control is currently 88, but if I had a manager who had 85 player proficiency, it would go up to 90 if I was to press this and then go back. Right, following, good, understandable. It's simple. You level up your players. It's great fun. You can adjust different things. You can reset player progression. As you see, currently it is free. It is going to get very expensive at some point. So do all your experimenting now. Hopefully they keep it free forever. But they probably won't. Because obviously it forces you to either play the game more or purchase stuff. So you can buy packs to release players, or however their reason is for doing it. Maybe that they're going to start selling GP. I don't know. Use it whilst you can. It's free for now. So just use it as much as you can for now. You get to train every stat. Train up goalkeepers. Train up defending. Again, there is a meta. So if you want to know the meta, typically its attackers need good acceleration, good balance, good dribbling and tight possession. That's the 3 to 4 stats you need. It's argued whether it's tight possession or dribbling, which is more important. I do both, just to be safe. But attackers usually need 90 balance, 90 acceleration, and 90 in dribbling or tight possession to perform well, to feel smooth. But there are so many different factors into whether a player will play well or not. Their player IDs, their play styles, their height, the way they're designed in the game, the way the meta is, if they've been nerfed, if they've been adjusted. So many different changes in the game, right? So go into your training if you want to buy a player and try him out first. Try him out. If you want to use him as a set piece taker, try him out on set pieces. See if the way he hits the ball is something that you'd be comfortable with. Do you know what I mean? Like his stance, his positioning, his thing he does afterwards, the things he does before. If he's a kind of player who likes to hit the ball and run back to defend, or hit the ball and then carry on with the attack. Obviously, you can change that, but again, if you change that, that's going to create spaces in your defence. Moving on, all your stats, pretty self-explanatory. Characteristics, weak foot usage, tells you how often he may opt to use his weak foot, or how often he will attempt to use his stronger foot. If it's occasionally, he will most likely, more often than not, attempt to hit the ball with his stronger foot. Obviously, dependent on the angle that he's on. If he's on the angle where he can use both, he'll most likely try to use for his right. If he's on the angle where he can only use his left, he'll have to use his left. And so on. Weak foot accuracy, again, tells you the accuracy of his weak foot. Very high is the highest. And then it goes like, I don't know what the other ones are. I know it's high. And then there's low. And that's it. Form. Form is something I would need to go into a game to explain. So I will go into one game. No, I won't. I can't be bothered. I will explain it. Form, when you go into a game, before you kick off, go into your game plan. You get to press square, as you would on this, which says live updates here. You do this, and it will go over to form, and there will be arrows. There will be a straight arrow, a slightly down, and all the way down, and then a straight arrow, a slightly up, and then all the way up. If a player is flat, a straight arrow, then there is nothing to worry about. He is average form. If he's green, which will be slightly up and all the way up, they will be getting improved stats, and vice versa for the ones that are facing down. Form affects how often the player will, how erratic the changes will be from game to game. So Neymar will have all the way green one game and an all the way red one game. That's how varied it can be. Unwavering form is the best form. There we go. Which means, more often than not, you will pretty much never see Sergio Ramos in the all red. So he's very consistent. He'll be able to play most games. Always just have a substitute, just in case. Have a substitute for every position, just in case. But that's all there is to it. Very simple. As soon as you go into the game and you see the arrows, it will look confusing the first time, but then you'll go, okay, that makes sense. Simple. Player skills. Each player is given a certain amount of player skills. That's it. Read them on the tips, exactly what they do, to see if it's a player skill that you could utilise or not. Simple as. Additional skills. Play actions again. Go into skill training. As it says right here. You can read these if you want to go through the game yourself. You can obtain skill training programs. This will allow you to pick 5 additional skills that he can have. So he can have those skills it's got there, and then 5 additional ones. Okay? It's random how it's picked. It's completely random. This shows you every single one. Every one. But this is completely random. But you can respin them. So you can pick 5. So honestly, I would say go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the shit ones that you don't want, then start trading them through. Because you can just exchange them. At the cost of, obviously, your skill training programs. That's it. It can make your player better. It can, if you look at Neymar and you go, he hasn't got one touch pass. I need one touch pass. I need first time shot. That's what you got to get him. That's what you got to graft on. But you might as well use the 5, because there's no point in just grafting on 2, because you have a better option. You'll have a higher percentage of getting the card that you want by using all 5 of your spaces. Because that means if you're only going to keep respinning 1, and you've got 4 others already on there, then those 4 are never going to come back on. You know what I mean? If you've got Blocker, Rabona, so all the player skills that you can see, plus all the player skills that are on his additional skills, won't ever be bought on, won't ever come on your respin. So you'll have a higher chance of getting the one that you want. So use the 5. Very simple. Other information shows you contracts. They've now added match played goals and assists. This eFootball. eFootball. And your AI playing styles is just what they'll do when you're not on the ball. Or if you're on the camera, or on the camera, fuck you. If you're on the event and they're just playing on the AI. And that's it. You'll see how he plays a bit more with it. How he chooses to play on the pitch. It's really that simple. I've been doing this for fucking like 2 hours now. And I don't think there's any more information to give you. You know what I mean? You get to jump in, change your formation, move your players around wherever you want, do your sub-tactics, do your individual instructions, change your emblems, do whatever you want. We are done. It is finished. I can't be bothered. Let's see what these rewards are in case it's anything other than just boring money. It's money. Okay. We're done. The next thing for you to do after watching these videos, if you actually even ended up watching them, is just play the fucking game. Jump in. First things first. Do your events. Okay? Do your events. Do your themed events. Do your user ones. Jump straight in online. Get it done. Get them done. Right? If it allows you to pick a team, because then you're allowed to... There's certain events that allow you to use teams, and it will transfer all the players from that team into your club temporarily whilst you do the tournament, whilst you're inside of the tournament, and you can just use them. That's it. So you get to try out different players like that as well, so you can see who plays well and who you want to buy. And we're done. Start earning, start grinding, and enjoy yourselves. Like the fucking video, comment what you want to see, and suck a dick. See you later.